Guys, we decided to come back to our roots. Interject, Parker.
Oh, we back, bitches.
Yeah, boy. Play
We made
that fucking music.
Dun-dun-dun. Is it weird that I immediately thought about Joe Rogan's intro music right then?
No, because I thought about failing upwards. And
Okay.
he says, hit that motherfucking weedus.
The Wheatus?
Yeah, and then it goes, I'm just it's the teenage dirtbag. I forgot how the song goes. I don't know how I can't remember shit.
You're telling a great story. I'm glad we're spending time on this.
All right, boys. So Parker and I did a podcast 2 weeks ago. We were going to have a whole new variety of different things to talk about. And then we realized we didn't want to do that because we weren't very good at it.
It was really broadly scoped, and
Ill prepared.
we both felt like we would just do better staying in a niche because it gives us it's weird because it gives us less to talk about, but it actually gives us more to talk about because it's more specific and it's fun. And yeah,
one of the benefits of doing a fantasy podcast and sticking with that is we're constantly still reading about fantasy, still talking about fantasy or football in general. When we opened it up and broadened it, it was like, all right, what are we going to talk about? And we'd have one little thing. And if both of us didn't research it, it was a dud. And this we can just kind of run with. And lucky for all you guys, all of our audience, we're practically top 1% smartest people when it comes to fantasy in the fucking world. So this is easy. So we're just going to stay in our lane as the youths say right now.
We are in the 0.0001% of fantasy knowledge if you count every country other than America.
Or if you just count the 10 Guys 1 Cup fantasy league.
Oh, wow. First swing thrown in the off-season podcast.
You know my favorite part about our podcast is I can talk shit and no one will talk back to me.
Except for me. I have to be the champ. I have to be the people's champ.
Oh, that's horrible. You're like the mountain and I'm Tyrion. And this Mike is the Serpentine from the Crazy Place who gets his head smashed in. Spoilers.
Wow, mad spoilers actually.
Actually,
I hope Miller's caught up.
He is. He finished season 7, the last one without us. We watched the first episode and then we all went to bed and I woke up in the morning. He's like, I slept 3 hours. I finished everything.
That's awesome. No. I wish I could do that with Game of Thrones. Again, ever. I can binge watch it over again, but I can't
oh yeah,
I'll never be able to watch a whole season, a brand new season
and
from scratch.
Experience it. That's the one thing is when people tell me, oh, I'm going to start it now. And I was like, you fucking lucky bitch. I was like, yeah. That was one of the most holy shit, this is amazing.
I applaud those people for having that much resiliency. You've missed out on some great human interaction talking about it, but you do get, it's a very selfish move, but you're going to enjoy it.
The only thing I can say about that is I watched a little bit of Entourage growing up, but I was a little too young for it. So I didn't fully grasp it. And then in college, I watched it and I was like, holy fuck, and I binged it. The greatest show ever. And then Mike and I watched it again when we lived together. Entourage is a top tier, probably top 3 favorite show ever.
Yeah, there's probably a given amount of years that you can put in between binging something where you're going to get 80% of the enjoyment back doing it again. I'm pretty sure if I watch Breaking Bad right now, it's been 5 or 6 years. If I watched it all the way through, I think I'd have a really good time. I've forgotten. It helps to be forgetful, but I've forgotten most of the stuff that happens.
Yeah, that is one on my list to watch. But
have you never watched it?
No, never. Not a single episode. So people keep telling me watch it, and I was like, honestly, I want to give it my full attention. I want to be able to be all right, I'm gonna just go and run because I know how I get.
Right, and you're just crushingly busy right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a fucking asshole.
All right, we're 5 minutes into the new ep. We haven't actually talked any fantasy yet. We swore this was a fantasy football podcast. Still.
We didn't say our new fantasy name.
Oh yes, that's right. We have an off-season name.
Yeah, it's great. Or kind of. We'll see. You tell us. Uh,
Well, we polled a lot of user groups and figured out a good scientific marketable name for the off-season pod.
we were
Do you want to
told
introduce it?
we could only go up from our last one, is what we were told recently.
Yep.
Constructive criticism, we appreciate that. Our new
Yep.
fantasy name will be We Are the Fantasy Fluffers, because
That's right.
we like get you guys ready. Get it?
We get you ready for fantasy in the off-season. We're fluffing you.
Yep. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, it sounds good. For fun fact, that lost episode that we did 2 weeks ago that'll never get released. We have 2 lost episodes, but for we were just fucking around and made up a name for the day. We were Flog the Philanthropist podcast.
Guess how many times it took me to say philanthropist correctly? Not you, Parker. The audience.
I'm just gonna wait for the listener to chime in. You know,
In their head, they're thinking, I wonder how many. I bet it was 3. I think it was 5.
No, I bet the average guess was 10.
Jesus, fuck, guys. The problem was Parker came up with a name seconds before we started, and he was like, "Flog the Philanthropist," and I was like, "Flog the philanthropist." I couldn't get the end out. I was like, and then finally I just said philanthropist, and it was done. I was like, "Wow, I learned a new word today." To be fair,
we got to watch you evolve on that podcast.
I told Miller the name we thought, or that you thought of, and he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Bro, it's meta. Like, do you not,
bro? It's meta." You said that, though. You said that.
Yes. I'm
That's
not
funny.
gonna lie. I recently had a better understanding of what meta meant, because I did not know what it meant at all, and now I use it all the time. And I
Really?
still feel like half the time I'm not using it properly.
I feel like calling something meta is like a get out of jail free card.
Meta is now meta, which I get that what that says, but yeah.
Ooh, dude, you're getting deep.
Right?
Some podception going on here.
All right, let's talk about fantasy.
All right. Tex, what has happened? By the way, as like a prelude to this, I have never in my life paid attention to football during the off season, fantasy football in particular, because usually by the end of the season, I'm pretty burnt out and like sad. And I don't know. It's just like it's a lot of like I already spent so much work during the season. I want time off. That's obviously not an option this year, and I assume a lot of people are similar in our league. But if they tune in, they're actually going to stay up to date this year. It'll be interesting.
So what we'll do is it'll be more like a football podcast where we talk about things that happen, and then we'll add in how this may or may not affect fantasy, because there's still a lot to go on. And we're just going to jump in the first one. Kareem Hunt got signed by the Browns.
What's your take on this, Dex?
So I had already known what the fuck's his name? Jim something, starts with a D. The Browns GM drafted him in Kansas City. But I read someone said this is
John Dorsey.
John
Dorsey? Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Jim Dorsey. Whatever. John Dorsey. So I read a funny thing. They're like, because Kareem Hunt got in trouble at a hotel in Cleveland. That was like where he was trying to kick that girl.
Uh-huh.
And so he probably found out first. And he thinks he told Kareem Hunt, hey, when you get dropped, keep your head down, shut up, don't say anything. And after the season, we'll pick you up and we'll be the bad guys and take all the bad like publicity. And then by the season starts, no one will even talk about it.
Wait, how confirmed was it that he said this? Like what's
no
the source?
0. I said that was just an idea someone had.
Oh,
and I thought it was funny. Yeah. No, there's 0. No, don't quote me.
That was just someone saying this probably happened.
Yeah. So that's just someone saying that. That's like what probably happened. Now, fantasy wise, where it's crazy is they have Nick Chubb, who went lights out once they got rid of Carlos Hyde. So that's a very good 1-2 punch. It's very close to the a better version almost. I don't want to say better. That's bad. But Alvin Kamara and who's the other?
Chris Ivory?
No.
Jeez, I always get it mixed up. Who's the guy that I always get confused with?
Mark Ingram. Chris Ivory.
I don't know why I always mix them up. It's my curse.
All right, I guess.
So yeah, they're gonna have a good running back 1-2. How long did it take for Chubb to start lighting up last season?
I think I think Carlos Hyde got traded in the 4th or 5th week, and the next week he did all right, and then after that he blew up, and he was just churning out fucking big plays and doing good things.
Hmm.
So, which they saw it in him. That's why they got rid of Carlos Hyde, because
Mhm.
Carlos Hyde was killing it for Daniel. Daniel had Carlos Hyde, and then Carlos Hyde went to the Jaguars and dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
And that was crazy, even because Leonard Fournette didn't play the whole season. But that's just how it goes sometimes. So it'll be an interesting to see how they're going to balance those, because now we won't know who to draft, where to draft them, because as we even saw this year, Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram didn't have the year they had the year before, where they both just popped off.
Right. Well,
Yeah, Alvin Kamara started out hot and then dropped.
the thing with Kareem this year is we're very close to having an off season without drama on like where to draft this like unknown valued player who's going to be suspended an unknown amount of games. But I feel like Kareem Hunt's like so up in the air right now. Like it's so hard to know what
Yeah,
his actual value is going to be at draft day.
Yeah, so luckily by the time there it'll be known, but I don't think he's going to get suspended because he was already like dropped and suspended.
I think he
that
gets
actually I
suspended.
don't know. Yeah, maybe
It's a pretty bad
majority of the season.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad incident. I feel like he's going to lose at least 4 games. I'm hoping it's on the higher end of that.
Yeah, it's a very interesting.
Or is it because he got dropped? He never
That's what I'm
actually was
saying.
suspended any games.
Yeah, and he's only getting paid $1 million, which I get it, only $1 million, but like
No, it's
these
very
guys,
small.
yeah, for what they do.
I actually can't believe they signed him for that little.
Well, that was the thing. He went unpicked up, and so it was just crazy. So everyone was scared. Like if you told me the Broncos were going to get him, I'd be upset. Like I don't want that on my team.
Right.
Like, that you want any of that like potential, like what he did. You don't want that publicity.
I'd be very interested to see if the NFL just comes out and blasts him, like totally removes him from the league for a few years.
They will not remove.
You don't think so?
If it is the thing is, if it's not a story, they'll leave him. The NFL is money hungry. They're going to, hold on 1 second, Parker. Talk for a second.
You're good. I feel like this would be a good opportunity for the NFL to actually take a stance on something like that. I don't think they will, but it would be a very good step in the right direction for their brand if they just blasted them out of the league for 2 or probably like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, it'd probably be good.
Yep, I have no idea what you said, but I agree.
Thank you very much. So like between right now, oh, this is fun because I actually get to look up ADP right now. Between like him time splitting with Chubb and his like potential suspension, where do you think his ADP lies next year?
Fuck.
It's hard. It's hard to know anything. Like I don't know about you. I haven't looked at anything.
No, zero at all. Well, I guess so. There for next year, with what we know now, 3rd round, right? Like
3rd round, really?
Let's see, middle to end of 3rd round.
Between the time split and that, yeah, there's
so I'm saying he's not going to miss any games right now. So with the time split, I'd say he'd be like 28th pick.
28th pick. Oh man, yeah. There's so much talent. If I remember right from the tweets I've seen in the offseason, there's so much talent in the first 2 rounds this year, especially running back. Yeah, I could see 3rd, early 4th. Let me take a look now. I'm very curious. Kareem, he's not even on these actually.
Really? Oh, yeah.
So he's not even.
They haven't even done it yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Now sticking with the Browns, or kind of. So I don't know if you saw about Antonio Brown, but he said he wants to get traded, and he literally posted like, it's been a great 9 years, Steeler Nation. I've loved everything. Time to move on.
It's a full goodbye.
He's still on their fucking team. like this guy is not playing for the Steelers.
That's why. Do you know why he's so anti-Steelers right now?
Him and Big Ben, again, this is everything I've read, so who the fuck really knows? Him and Big Ben don't get along.
Okay.
So one of the things that Hines Ward said, he said it on the Barstool radio show and then on Pro Football Talk podcast. He said that the shit that's gone on in the Steelers organization is why they're the way they are now. Like when I was there, he would have been dropped. From, I don't know if you remember, like 2 or 3 years ago, Antonio Brown was Facebook living after the game talk that their coach was doing.
Really?
Like to the team.
You can't do that.
No,
That's
he's
a
like
sacred
that
moment.
would not fucking happen.
No.
He's like, when I was there, if that shit happened with Jerome Bettis, who the fucking bus went to fucking Notre Dame, the only fat boy running back ever. What a god. What a god. Just watching him rumbling and tumbling down the field.
Mhm.
He would have wrecked that guy. That's what Hines Ward said. So
Really?
Antonio Brown just isn't getting along. He's a diva, like every wide receiver.
Yeah.
They're the Chad Ochocinco's, Terrell Owens, like they're just fucking divas.
Yeah, like Larry Fitzgerald, every wide receiver.
No, so you're talking about one-offs. Calm down, Mahita. Like going for like the top tier, like best one out there. But but some of his landing spots that they're talking about are the 49ers. He's already very interested in that, and the Browns. Can you imagine if the Browns have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Antonio Brown, bless him. Who's that? What's his fucking name? He went from the Dolphins to them. Didn't have a great year this year. Jarvis Landry.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that.
wow.
That's filthy.
That actually
That's
is quite the
filthy.
squad.
With Baker Mayfield, who had a great rookie year, fucking phenomenal. Like they've got their quarterback of the future. Their tight end Njoku, whatever his name is
Goku's
fucking
way better sounding.
Yeah, right. He's top tier. Like he's a good tight end.
Mhm.
There's only so many, and their defense was the best part about their whole team. Their defense was filthy. Their defense got them into like 5 overtime games, and their offense was just garbage.
Yeah, that'd be insane. I would.
So,
where would you rank them out of 32 teams? If say they get that squad together.
12.
12.
So, and the reason I do that, they're going to be they'll make it into the playoffs.
Browns tax a little bit.
Yeah. So, but they'll make the playoffs and they'll have the first round, because I think if the Steelers won't have Le'Veon Bell and they won't have Antonio Brown. So boom, Juju Smith goes up, and then your boy Connor will be up there.
My boy.
But it like changes everything.
By the way,
then,
funny enough, I'm looking at James Conner and Nick Chubb on the ADP boards right now for a 10-man half PPR league. Where do you think they both go?
I think Nick Chubb will be late second round, and James Conner will be early second round.
So we got James Conner at 3rd pick in the 2nd round and Nick Chubb at 4th pick in the 2nd round.
Wow, right next to each other.
Yeah, and then David Johnson's actually ranked below them, which I'd probably disagree with that.
What below? Like he go in the 1st round
he's,
or later in the
no,
2nd
he's
round?
Late in the 2nd round, 208.
Okay. It's hard. So I have this for later. We're already going to talk about it. Cardinals have their offensive line's garbage. They're getting Shipley back, hopefully. I love Shipley. He's one of those like cool guys who like was undrafted style guy, worked his way up, became a all-pro center.
But we just lost Iapati, didn't we?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is we don't know how good your offensive line is. Like I remember when you guys played the Broncos and I was watching that game, and it was like David Johnson got hit as soon as he touched the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's not his fault. He's getting fucking tackled 2 yards behind the line. Like no one in the league can do that. Le'Veon Bell couldn't break those. Like that's just how it fucking works.
Yeah.
So your offensive line needs to get fixed. Your 1st round. So now what people are saying is, who's your new coach? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I don't.
He came from Texas Tech, Cliffsbury, something like that.
Look it up real
he's very big on Kyle Murray, who just declared that he wasn't going to play baseball. He was going to go
Kingsbury?
to
KK?
Cliff Kingsbury. What did I say? Something. I was close. So he's big on Kyle Murray. A lot of people are saying he's going to trade Josh Rosen, take the 1st pick, and get Kyle Murray, because the best thing to do to help out a bad O-line is have a running quarterback. I think that'd be the dumbest fucking thing ever. But also, I'm sitting in my tiny ass bedroom where I have 3 other roommates doing this instead of running a football
Yeah,
team.
that's true.
So let's just make sure we
It's
all know
like an
that.
implicit notice.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I'm looking at this. I'm very curious as we do this every other week, by the way, to our listeners, how much the draft board is going to change during that time. But where do you think Patrick Mahomes is drafted?
Mahomes is drafted. Yeah.
Mahomes is.
4th round. Like I'll say so 4th round would be in the 30s. So 34th pick.
34th pick. I think he's going to go around 5 or 6 in our league. But
whoa, 5 or 6. Wait, hold on.
Round
the
5
5th
or
or
6
6th pick.
fifth or sixth.
Okay.
But the ADPs on fantasyfootballcalculator.com have Patrick Mahomes at 303. Which no, he will drop very far.
303, 303. That's not right.
No, 3rd round, 3rd pick, 3.03.
Okay. That's
by the way, that's the format that I'm going to be referring to. Average draft pick forever. By the way,
like we'll just do it like that. That's
like
easy.
1002 or 10-2, 1002, 1103, stuff like that. 307.
So that's like Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I guess Peyton Manning. Like I don't know if you remember our first year, we did the league. A person who's no longer in the league had Peyton Manning and essentially walked away with the trophy.
Yeah.
Or the championship, which I guess our league wasn't around then. So whatever, you get what I'm saying. The next year, Peyton Manning was drafted in like the 2nd round, and Mahomes threw as many touchdowns as Peyton Manning did.
He is quite good. It'll be a hot topic for sure.
So the one thing though is I'm big on the sophomore slump.
Yeah, me too.
It happens more often than it doesn't. He also plays in the hardest, not the hardest, but I'll say one of the toughest pass rushing divisions in the league.
Well, here's the other thing. Fuck the actual football, first of all. But when someone is that good and they have a great season, regardless if it's their sophomore year or anything, their value is pushed up beyond its reality almost always by the plebs of the world. And that their ADP is going to be at the highest cost of all fucking time. And I don't know if it ever, like, especially when they have like a superstar year like that, it's so hard for them to match that performance.
I'm trying to think, is there someone who's done it? And I can't. Like where
Gurley.
Like
Gurley's
he didn't have his year this year wasn't as good as the year before, was it? He dropped off. Charlie still won.
I think it was, yeah, because he's basing it.
But he was the first pick. Like,
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Like, I guess with my model, it's like, yeah, his value was pushed up all the way up to first because he had a great last year. If you pick him first, you assume that he's going to give you a first performance. That's your expectation. And he did. But I think that's very rare. I guess DeAndre Hopkins probably did.
Yeah, Hopkins did. The one that like blew my mind, and props to Miller, was Saquon. Like, I think he took him in the 10th pick because I went Gurley before him, and he took Saquon, and I was like, wow, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And then Miller also had the worst record, but
yeah, that's a whole nother set of reasons.
Yeah, but he still had the worst record.
I need to
Not this guy.
What, Fantasy Football Pros? Is that the?
No, we don't. No free ads, Parker.
Well, I'm thinking like I'm using Fantasy Football Calculator. It might not be the best. It might be actually good to use like pro projections right now more than average draft position of people doing mock drafts in fucking February.
And fucking
like it seems like a pretty shitty way. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't know what you're doing, bud. You just started talking.
Sorry. What else has happened, Dex? Tell me more about the league.
So, well, fucking A, guys. The Broncos are gonna win a championship this year. John Elway does it again. He brings in a quarterback that nobody trusted. Just like Peyton motherfucking Manning. This guy coming off surgery missing an entire year. The fucking Colts go out and draft Andrew Luck. They're like, we have no faith in Peyton Manning. The fucking Ravens go out and draft Lamar Jackson, bench a fucking an elite quarterback, a Super Bowl MVP quarterback, Lamar Jackson, subpar player this year. They decide to let him go. Joe motherfucking Flacco comes to the Denver Broncos at the ripe age of 34. Baby, we're back. We're that fucking rocket. I'm ready to go. Emmanuel Sanders, just run. Run, motherfucker, because Joe Flacco will throw it. And it's all good, baby. It's all good. I ain't worried about nothing.
It's going to be a good season for the Broncos, is what you're saying then, right?
100%.
100% guaranteed, locked and loaded?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've never been more confident in my life. Damn it. Remember the last time I said that?
Yeah, I do remember that. It was it was right before the very last episode of the season.
I actually hate myself. Like, I'm actually excited, and it's like I get to this peak just to fall down.
Dude, I had a friend today ask for an episode of hey, send me the last episode of your podcast, and I was like, so he likes fantasy football, I likes football, and I was like, I'm gonna send you the second to last, because the last one my co-host lost the whole league. He was super depressed. Terrible episode. Just take this one instead.
I will say to our audience, as we grow, I'll try to bring this up. I give you the emotion I truly have. I am not good at hiding it, and I try. I can hype myself up, but I was very sad. Very sad when I came in dead last place with a fucking all-star team. Fuck, I'm gonna throw up.
Don't throw up.
Even feel, I know. And for our audience, as the new listeners now, so we take our league very seriously, and whoever comes in last place is the designated taco. What that means is, so I guess now we'll jump into this part. Life is the taco. I am now the taco. So the bad part about being the taco is no matter what the fuck we're talking about, it doesn't matter if it's politics, if it's what toothpaste to use, if you fold your underwear properly, I'm constantly just responded with, okay, taco. Oh, you're the fucking taco. It doesn't matter what you say. Exactly. Like, I honestly, like, it's, oh God. And so every year we do a destination draft. This year we're going to Chicago, the windy motherfucking city. And there's part of being a taco is you're the beer bitch. And usually there's something you got to do or something that happens to you, which is decided by the group. And I'm dreading
in a secret group chat that you are not invited to.
I literally wake up in the middle of the night in like full sweat, just like what are they gonna do?
Does it like how many times does it happen where you're just like out having a good time and then you remember, oh yeah, I'm the fucking taco?
All the time. I just want you all to know I'm getting prepared. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm preparing, but like I'm like, all right, if this happens, I'm ready, motherfucker. You guys are playing chess, damn it. I'm playing checkers. Not how it's supposed to go, but that's the game I'm playing.
It's gonna be a very good draft. I can tell you that much. At the very least, it'll be amazing. At the very least,
I'm sure 9 people will be laughing a lot. At least
9 people. Yeah, it should be a good time.
So I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
Daniel already spoiled one of his ideas, which was actually great, which would never happen. So for our listeners, Daniel, the guy who should have been the taco, was like, oh man, I came up with a great idea for your punishment. And he was like, you'll never be able to guess it. And I was like, okay. He's like, guess. I was like, if I guess it right, will you tell me? He's like, yeah. I was like, I said one thing and he was like, no. I was like, because we're going to go to a Cubs game there. I was like, you're going to try and get me to sing the national anthem at the Cubs game. He was like, how'd you know? And I was just like, I don't know, Daniel. You said I'd never think of it. And I was like, what would be really hard to do, because I'm very bad at remembering lyrics and saying things properly, as you guys might have noticed.
It'd be amazing.
Like right now, off the top of my head, I don't even know how the national anthem starts, or the Rockets Red Glare. I don't even know what song you sing at the beginning of
the
a baseball
national
game.
anthem or the Rockets Red Glare. Both of those songs have very difficult lyrics, I assure you. It starts with "Oh, say can you see?"
Oh, say can you see by the yep,
If
that's
you do have
it.
to
That's
sing
all I
that song,
got.
can you say "Jose, can you see?" and then sing the whole song with an accent?
I will say, guys, I'm going to have that song memorized before we go there. And if it happens, I'm going to give Chicago a performance of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's all about leaning in, man. Unfortunately, when you lean, you have a higher chance of falling over.
And I fall harder than anyone.
That's right. Well,
yeah, I go full heel sometimes, and it's good for the league, bad for Dex.
Well, yeah, very good for the league. Anyways, do we have anything else for this pod? Are we done?
Well, real quick, what'd you think of our first ice bet of the fantasy football year? It's really the football season.
What was it again? It was, I can't remember.
I bet Charlie that the Broncos with Joe Flacco will have a better record than the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers. And then I put, I'm back, baby, because I said I was done betting. And
then, well, you were done for like a month.
Yeah, that's good. That's
how do I feel about that bet? I feel it's a push. I think it's honestly a toss up. I think.
Yeah, and honestly, the best part, like, the Raiders are garbage, the Bears are good, the Lions are the Lions, the Chargers are the Chargers. So yeah, it's gonna be...
I think if I knew more about divisions, that might sway my opinion a little bit. So, what did you just say? You said the Broncos are in league with the Raiders?
The Raiders and the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs. And then
the Packers, the Bears, the Lions, the Vikings.
You might have a slight edge on that, like a hair.
Yeah, boy, because Joe Flacco's elite.
But that's, I mean, fucking...
Who right now, who would you rather have? Joe Flacco or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Are you thinking about that? Aaron Jesus Christ, I even would take Aaron Rodgers.
That was a trick question. I was like remembering back to the season of how Aaron Rodgers did. I'm like, he didn't like break both of his arms, did he?
I was like, I don't know what was that pause. I was trying to make a joke and Parker ran with it.
I hope Aaron Rodgers never listens to this podcast and gets mad at me because I paused for that second. That's the only wish I can have.
Fun fact, or quick question: who's Aaron Rodgers dating?
I don't know that.
Danica Patrick.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that right.
Where does Danica Patrick live?
California.
Scottsdale,
really?
Arizona.
You ever seen her out and about?
In her Ferrari.
Did you know Chael Sonnen lives in Portland?
Why?
He's
Is there a gym
he says
there?
He's from Oregon. He always says like from the mean streets of Westland, Oregon. That's like his shtick.
I guess I can see him from Portland. Like,
no, he's not
funny.
From Portland. Like, I think I lied about that. He's from Oregon.
But I meant, yeah, whatever. But like, I could see him living there and being, because he's like, he was Conor McGregor before Conor McGregor was Conor McGregor.
I don't know what that has to do with Oregon.
Me neither. Like, most fighters are from like California or New Mexico, or they train in New Mexico. That still blows my mind. How so many fighters train in New Mexico.
That's where Greg Jackson is. That's it.
John Bone Jones?
Tons of fighters. Holly Holmes.
Diaz brothers are from there.
Yep. They train somewhere else.
Still, I've never been in my life seen two scarier people than the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, there's some gangster motherfuckers.
I could have all our entire league, and they'll be like, you have to fight one of us, all 10 versus just one. I'd say nope. I'd probably switch sides and fight you guys.
Yeah, I'd help them. And then when they hit me, I'd just fall over the first time.
Yep. Roll over, fetal position.
Cry.
Because I've seen them get punched in the face so many times and then just smile.
We are powerless.
That was our 30-second MMA part of the fantasy football
Yeah.
podcast.
We're gonna squeeze it in unless there's like large amounts of votes against it.
Yeah, we're multi-cultural.
Multi-sport.
Yeah, there you go. Same difference. We know a lot about a little, or a little about a lot. One of those.
All right, let's wrap it up. We're missing the video part today, so I can't give you the fingers.
Oh yeah. Yep. So this was the Fantasy Fluffers. We're here to fluff your fantasy lives. If you needed it a little softer, a little bit rougher, let us know. We're here for you guys. We're in the people helping people business.
And submit us ideas for segments because we need them. Yeah, that's exactly why.
Via www.dp that one thing D
apostrophe. You can't put apostrophes in URLs, dude.
Oh, you want to fucking bet?
Yeah, I do.
Hold up. Oh, it's dpdpodcast@gmail.com. So our other podcast and idea was it was going to be called DP'd from Dex and Parker. So you were DP'd by us because you got both.
We'll do that when we'll do a different podcast about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I still made a Google account for it, so perfect. I have that.
As long as we have that reserved.
If you want to email us, we should reserve Fantasy Fluffers.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because that's a hot name, hot in the streets.
Right. Peace out, boys. See you in 2 weeks.
Fuck Daniel. Fuck Daniel.
Fuck Daniel.
Fuck Daniel.
I like to make money, get turned. I like to make money.